the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Golf Dudes Podcast. Happy Thursday. I'm Joe Calabro. Thanks for tuning in. A few things to get to tonight. I'm just getting over a cold, so I can't promise it's going to be the longest podcast in history, but we have a lot to get to. It's been an exciting week. I am feeling better, so don't panic. It's been an exciting week, a lot of things to get to, so let's get right into it. I have thoughts on a lot of different things. GolfNewsRI was at Topgolf on Wednesday night, as many of you saw, many of you read the article. I can see that by the page views. Davis Chatfield and Patrick Welch both struggled today on the Korn Ferry Tour in round one of the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. And also we're coming off of, obviously, the Burke Memorial Championship down at Newport and then Green Valley. And a few things coming up to keep an eye on this week. Oh, and of course, the Ryder Cup. I have some lasting Ryder Cup thoughts, or leftover Ryder Cup thoughts, as they say. So let's get to all that. First of all, thank you all for the continued support. Let's just start with this past week at the Burke Memorial. First round was in Newport, second round was in Green Valley. Cam Moniz won the championship. He birdied two of the last three holes and the 18th hole to get him, or two last three holes, including the 18th hole, to give himself the win over Larry LaFauci. It looked like another Larry LaFauci win, but he struggled in the final round. Cam played great. The birdie on 18, which we clarified in the article, actually gave him a one-shot lead at the time. He ended up winning by two shots, but essentially the birdie on 18 won him the tournament. And then Darren Carenti with another win this year. He won the senior amateur. Now he's won the Burke. He said in an interview with the RIGA that he doesn't think he's going to win the Senior Player of the Year because he didn't play in the stroke play. He had prior commitments or personal commitments, whatever it may be. So, he's got two big wins. So, I don't know what other senior. I haven't looked at the points. So I don't know who else is in the mix, but hard to imagine him not winning it. He's won, I think, 3 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. So, exciting week down at the Burke, both in Newport on Tuesday and on Wednesday at Green Valley. As from a Kirkbride standpoint, I was really hoping that Larry LaFauci and John O'Clair were going to win their respective divisions. That would have been really cool, but it didn't happen. So, congrats to Cam Moniz on a big win for him. I believe it's his first state win of his career. I could be mistaken, but I believe it's his first win. So congrats to him. He played great. And Darren Carenti, the legendary Darren Carenti, gets the big W as well. So that was this week. Check out all that coverage on GolfNewsRI.com, as all of you have. And then the other big thing, obviously this week is huge. Topgolf is opening, officially set to open on Friday. So for those listening on Thursday night, tomorrow, and tee times are already filling up, bays are already filling up on their website. But on Wednesday, as a lot of you saw, again, we put up the 10 takeaways from Topgolf this on Thursday morning. So GolfNewsRI got the amazing opportunity to go to Topgolf on Wednesday night before it opened with our good friends at Group Chat Golf. Let's thank you to them for the invite. The entire thing was free. They're tight with the Topgolf guys. So the entire thing was free. Played for, approximately 3 hours or so, a little bit less. But it was in going in, and I didn't really know what to expect. I've never been to Topgolf before. I know a lot of people have. I've never personally been to one, so I didn't really know what to expect going in. And let me tell you, as I wrote about, and again, if I thought it was dumb or if I thought it was overrated, I would tell you. Let me tell you, it's pretty cool. It lives up to the hype. Everything you've heard about, everything you've read about it, everything we've written on about it, whether it's the atmosphere or obviously they're doing well financially. And I think this one's going to do well financially as well, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty impressive. You don't have to bring your clubs. They have clubs there for you. The food was really, really good. I know some of these entertainment places, golf or otherwise, you never know what you're going to get food-wise. But the food was really, really good. I even brought my wife. She was impressed. She had a great time. She did terrible at hitting balls, but she still had fun anyway. So it was really cool. It'll be fascinating to watch how it does, and it'll be interesting to see the financials of it at the end of the year. But it was really impressive. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do. I'm sure the place is going to be packed on a nightly basis, at least for the first few weeks or so. The interesting thing, of course, will be when winter comes, in a month or some or whatever it is, and the cold weather starts to hit. They do have heaters, but when it's 20 degrees out, how much is a heater really going to do? But again, I could be wrong on that as well. So we'll wait and see. But the place was really impressive. If you're going there, have a great time. Again, you don't need to bring clubs, but you can if you want. They have clubs there for you. I believe they're Callaway irons. There's no actual logos on them, just the Topgolf logo everywhere. They're like Topgolf branded clubs, but I'm gonna assume that they're Callaway clubs, because Topgolf is a part of the Callaway brand. So I would assume that. But it was a great time. It was really impressive. And again, I think the place is going to be packed for the first few weeks, but at the same time, they have so many bays to hit from. We were on bay 307 or something ridiculous. So there's tons of bays. So, it could be packed, but, perhaps it won't be as bad as, you would think, given how much room they have and how many bays they have. So it was a great time. It lived up to the hype. We were excited to be there. Check out the story on GolfNewsRI.com today. My 10 takeaways from GolfNewsRI's night at Topgolf. Again, with that story, I tried to keep it fun, obviously. And one of my takeaways is just completely stupid. But I really wasn't sure about it. So, and I even say it in the takeaway that it was stupid, just for whatever that's worth. So, but check that out. Be sure to click on the links before. Don't just go off of my thing. The pricing is a little, I don't want to say it's confusing, but there's different machinations you can do and all different stuff. So be sure to click on the links. Don't just go off of necessarily what I wrote, especially when it comes to the pricing, because again, there's different combinations and different times and days and all different stuff that you can do. And obviously you can book for more than the regular 2 hours. I was just trying to keep it basic. But so just check that out. But yeah, Topgolf opens officially on Friday morning. I know they're doing a ribbon cutting and everything. So and again, for my couple of hours there on Wednesday night, it was really impressive. So good luck to them. It's going to be fascinating to see how they do. Fascinating to see how they compete or how they stack up with all these indoor places that are coming or that are here in Rhode Island. Topgolf is not really a place to grind. If you're going there to work on your game, it's probably not. I mean, you can't do it. It's not ideal. Certainly, the indoor places are better for that. The standalone driving ranges, not that there are many, are better than that. And of course, the other story when it comes to Topgolf, of course, it's right down the street. You think of Mulligan's Island and what's the future of Mulligan's Island? As GolfNewsRI reported for the last couple of years, including last year at the groundbreaking ceremony for Topgolf, when we talked to Mayor Hopkins, Mulligan's has been trying to get out of that for a while now. They know that Topgolf is probably going to hurt their business. It's literally right down the street. I think you can see Topgolf from Mulligan's. So it's that close. That'll be an ongoing story. Right now, they're still open. The one thing I will say, and not that this is going to be enough to keep them alive, I don't imagine. The one thing I will say is, again, Topgolf is not a place where you would go to practice necessarily. I mean, you certainly can. The targets in the outfield, probably actually help you. Could help you if you really wanted it to, but it's not really that type of place. It's really more of like a friends night out, a boys night out, girls night out, family night out, whatever type of thing, right? The music's blaring, TVs have all sports on them, which is cool. There's different games you can play with the targets, whether it's just regular Topgolf, Angry Birds, or you can actually play a real course. We played the first hole, Pebble Beach, last night. We only played one hole. We had 5 or 6 people in the bay with us. It was just taking way too long. But you can play real golf if you wanted to. But the one thing I will say that these standalone ranges have, the few that are still around, Mulligan's, and I know there's 1 or 2 others maybe. Atlantic is still not closed yet, despite previous rumors and the place seemingly being sold for development. People can still go there and practice. You can go to Mulligan's and hit a bucket of balls and practice, and you get 2 buckets of balls if you want. And so can you at these other places. So that's the one thing that you can go to and say, hey, if I want to go practice, I can go to Mulligan's, or I can go to Atlantic, or wherever. Now, of course, the other part of that is a lot of clubs have their own driving ranges anyway, right? Kirkbride has a range, Alpine has a range, Triggs even has a range, and I'm sure other places do as well. So it's interesting. The new technology is really exciting. All these new indoor places are really exciting. Obviously, we announced yesterday that Inside Links in Cumberland is going to advertise with us. So that's really cool. We're trying to get into the indoor game. We think that's a thing. It's clearly, it's not a thing. It's clearly a thing. It's obvious becoming a thing. There's 7 or 8 indoor golf facilities in the state. So at least if not more, I could be missing some for all I know. But so it's an interesting time for that, for technology golf type of thing, simulator golf. I mean, Topgolf's not really a simulator. You're really hitting the wall. It's really going out into the abyss, as they say, and landing in the target. So again, if you're going to Topgolf this weekend or in the coming weeks, it's a really good time. But again, please check the website, click through to the links in our article for pricing and all that other stuff. You have to go to the website anyway to book. So be sure to check that out. Don't just go off of what we wrote. I was just trying to give a very, very basic example of how it works, but there are many machinations and different things that you can do. So definitely check that out. So that is kind of where we are. It was a really exciting night, and good luck to Topgolf as they officially open on Friday. The other big story, of course, is the Korn Ferry Tour Championship was underway, started on Thursday, and as we did a preview for it, and today both Davis Chatfield and Patrick Welch really struggled to get off to a good start. Again, they needed to literally win the tournament to get their PGA Tour card. So that obviously isn't going to happen. But a good finish can get them into the final stage of Q School, and any number of other things. So they're not off to a good start. As I check the standings here. So as we look at the leaderboard here, Korn Ferry Tour leaderboard, to round 1, Patrick Welch shot a 74 today, 2 over for the tournament. He's in a tie for 40th, and Davis Chatfield was 3 over for the tournament with a 75, and is in tied for 45th. There's only 75 players, or 73 players, I guess, technically in the field. So not off to a great start. Obviously, there's no cut in this tournament, so obviously they have plenty of opportunities to bounce back and put 3 good rounds together and move up. But right now, Chatfield is projected to go from 62nd to 64th, and Patrick Welch is projected to stay at 74th, which is where he was after the tournament, 2 weeks ago. So they're not off to a good start, but obviously, again, no cut, plenty of time to bounce back and make a run. Again, they'd have to win the tournament to get a PGA Tour card, so that's probably not, especially now, that's probably not realistic. But inside, I think the top 60 or somewhere along those lines, we wrote about it on our website. You get to skip to the final stage of Q School, and then again, it's PGA Tour Q School this year. They changed it back, so you have a chance to earn a PGA Tour card there with the top 5 finish and ties. So plenty of chance to do that. They still have a chance to go through second round of Q School if they want to do that. I don't know that Davis is going to do that. Patrick might make a run at it. Again, they already have Korn Ferry Tour status locked up for the 2024 season, so they really have nothing to lose. It's just about improving your status and trying to make a run at a PGA Tour card. So that's going to be interesting to watch this weekend as it plays out. The leader is Mason Anderson at 8 under par. Again, these tournaments is ridiculous how low you have to shoot to even be in contention. So, but that's how good these guys are. I mean, it's not easy. So we'll be watching that all weekend, of course. I think Golf Channel has coverage of it all weekend as well. The other thing to keep an eye on, next week they return is Stage 1 of Q School. Both Will Dixon and Andrew O'Leary are in Stage 1 of Q School. Again, Chatfield and Welch have an opportunity to skip to Stage 2 if they in fact want to play Q School. Again, they have status locked up, but we'll keep tabs on Andrew O'Leary's and Will Dixon's run through Q School this year and see what they can earn themselves a job, so to speak, for 2024. So that is what is going on. Obviously, a big weekend around golf, and Topgolf should be some really exciting stuff. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to got some leftover Ryder Cup thoughts for you, and then we will wrap up the show. This is the Golf Dudes Podcast on the GolfNewsRI Podcast Network. Billy Andre joins the show. Billy, thanks so much for doing this, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to be joined by an 11-time Emmy Award winner, and that is Armin Katayan. Massachusetts Women's Amateur Champion Allison Paik.
The days of the country club just being golf and maybe one amenity are gone. Unfortunately, Metacomet doesn't have those.
He has a very rare condition called kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And at the time of diagnosis, there was only 60 documented cases in the world.
I mean, we legitimately played the last 4 holes at Newport National. You could not see 50 yards.
All right, welcome back to the Golf Dudes Podcast on the GolfNewsRI Podcast Network, exclusively sponsored by Vintage Cigar Lounge. Thank you to them for the sponsorship. Last week, the Ryder Cup, obviously it was a disaster. The U.S. got smoked. They made it a little bit interesting on Sunday, but for all intents and purposes, they got smoked 16.5 to 11.5. I predicted in Southern New England Golf Magazine, which I write a column for every month or wherever it comes out, I think monthly. My prediction was Europe winning 17 to 11. So I was pretty annoyed that Shane Lowry conceded Jordan Spieth's putt, and they ended up having the match for a tie instead of trying to win and getting the 17th point. Because my prediction went right on, which I would have been pretty pumped about. That's pretty good, predicting the final Ryder Cup score. So anyway, so I was kind of over that. But nonetheless, what a disaster it was for the U.S. And what a boring tournament was. First of all, there was all commercials. Second of all, the U.S. was getting drubbed from Jump Street. And if it wasn't for Joe LaCava doing whatever he was doing, waving his hat and getting in Rory's face on Saturday afternoon, Saturday night there, and that final match, I mean, this Ryder Cup really could have been a sleeper. But thankfully that happened. I seemed to give the U.S. a little bit of a spark. And they actually came out and played pretty well in Sunday singles, which you would expect. And they came up several points short, but at least they made it. At least they made it interesting. And then, of course, it was over when Ricky Fowler, put his tee shot in the water and then conceded that putt to Tommy Fleetwood to give him the win. That's been a bit of controversy. That why would you give him that putt? It was like a 2-footer, maybe 3. It's hard to tell how long these things really are on television, but it didn't look like more than 3 feet. And Ricky had like a 5-footer to save 4 because he put his tee shot in the water. So, would have mattered. Fleetwood, Ricky was going to be away. He could have missed that putt. And then, and then it wouldn't matter. It was weird that you can see that putt. You usually like to see guys putt out to win tournaments, or not usually. You do like to see guys putt out to win tournaments, especially win the Ryder Cup. So it was a weird time to give him the putt, but it was just. I think it was more just optics than anything else. But what a message for the U.S. They go to a terrible start. I didn't understand why Zach Johnson started the tournament off with Sam Burns and Scotty Scheffler. I don't know why they kept Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth together, especially with Jordan Spieth playing terribly. Couldn't find the fairway. Couldn't really do much of anything. Thomas literally got half point by himself in the Saturday round, and even he missed a couple of close putts. So it was a mess for the U.S. Really looking forward to the 2025 Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. Our plan is to either one, apply for media credentials, which we're going to try to do, or just try to buy tickets and go, because this is probably about as close as the Ryder Cup's ever going to come. I don't imagine the Ryder Cup's ever going to come back to Brookline. I mean, they're barely bringing a U.S. Open back to Brookline. As the USGA announced today, the U.S. Open is not going to come back to Brookline until 2038, which is a long way away for that. It's a bit too long of a wait. As I went to the U.S. Open last year in 2022, it was really cool to be that. So it's a little disappointing that the next one's not coming back until 2038, but we do have the U.S. Senior Open next year, and I'm sure a few other things will come about in the coming years in between to make time pass. But that was a little disappointing, the announcement today. So that's what's going on. It's been a busy week, been a busy few days, and it should be a great weekend. The weather on Saturday does not look too promising. So enjoy Topgolf, enjoy playing real golf if you're out there still playing, and we will talk to you all next week. We'll try to get back to having guests and things next week here on the Golf Dudes podcast. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for the continued support. We will talk to you next weekend on the Golf Dudes podcast and all weekend long on GolfNewsRI.com. Have a great night, great weekend. Bye.